LG sponsored this episode with the 55, 65 and the 77-inch television. And you know, it got us thinking, do I need a dedicated cinema room to accommodate my field of view with a TV like this? It's magnificent. That's what we're finding out in this particular episode. How do I find the perfect TV match for your living room space? I'm your host, Peter Ngigi. Welcome to the show. So, nobody at LG told you that you're supposed to be 3 feet away from the screen, even though the backlight is not there with the LG OLED television. Nobody said that. So what you should do with this particular television is get a personal field of view that accommodates you. I like this. It's a bit black right now, but there we are. I like this. If I was a gamer, this is what I'd be using to just play my PlayStation and just watch that. Or come over here, which is really good. So guys, what we want to talk about are the hacks to getting a very good television set. So this episode is dubbed Getting the Perfect Television Match for Your Space. That's what we're going to be looking at with this particular episode. And there are a number of things that you need to know. Number one, always make sure you buy something that you do need. Don't buy anything that you do not need. What do I mean by that? You know, televisions come out every year, so you want to make sure that you get a television. If you can afford it, make sure it's the latest television. But a hack to this is get last year's model, so it's less expensive, because you could have a television similar to this that's probably $3,000, $4,000, and in the following year you could get it at a lesser price. But if you can afford a brand new up-to-date television, by all means go ahead and do so. Now, another hack that you can get to do is get a 4K television. The reason why we say this is because this television is future-proof. What do I mean by future-proof? In that the technological advancements and the way people are filming television is probably not going to change for a couple of years. So if you get a 4K television, you're good to go with that. Now, last but not least, remember, we're doing the OLED LG television. They've got a magnificent campaign at the Junction or at Side Center or at any brand shop. You could get a very good discount for this television. Or also you could go on Black Friday to get some deals on your sound bars, or on your television sets, or any other item to complement your television set. Now, secondly, size. How do you measure the size for your television? Now, size does matter. You could go online, you could get a couple of online calculators for your television stand, for the 55, for the 65, for the 77, for the 86, whichever seems fit or deems fit. You could go online and just get that information. But thirdly, if you want to get a more appropriate measure for your television set, you want to know the distance. Now, what you need to do is this. If this TV is a 65, first of all, let's find out if the guys at LG gave us a 65-inch TV. You want to measure, the rule of thumb is measure your television set diagonally. So if this is a 65-inch TV, what we'll do is we'll just place it there and stretch it a bit just to see where we are at. And this is exactly 65 inches. So that's how you get to know your length of your television. And if you want to know the appropriate field of view when watching your television, the rule of thumb is to 1.5 times what you've just measured the diagonal distance for. So if we have 65, we'll probably add about 32.5 to make it about 90 or 100 inches, and we're at an appropriate size. Now, let me just roll this up. Sorry, I know it's making a bit of noise. Now, we're at Olelua Ridge here in Karen for this particular space, Naserian Villas, and they were kind enough to give us the stage for this particular living room space. So this seems to be appropriate. You could put your furniture there and have your television set, which is magnifique. Now, as a rule of thumb, if I was to close this episode, by the way, putting your television on top of your fireplace is such a monstrosity. If we were to end this episode right now, let's just do that, because that's the best advice I could probably give you. do not put your television set on top of the fireplace. You want to be at eye level, which brings us to our next point, which is appearance in terms of comfort and where to have your television. If you're to sit down over here, what you want is to be at eye line level, right to the center of the screen, so that it's comfortable to just watch and you don't strain when you're watching your television set. So always, as to note, depending on the members of the family, ensure that eye level is right at the center of the screen. Now, guys, that's about it. This particular episode, we're looking at the perfect match for your television space, and that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're going to demystify a bit further with the technical expert. We had William last week, so he's going to tell us a little bit more about that. Now, we're going into a short commercial break. When we're back, we've got William. Stay tuned. Now, welcome back from the commercial break. We're looking at the perfect TV match for your space, and we've got William here once again to tell us about this. How are you doing,
Yes,
William?
good.
Once again,
Nice
seems
to
like
see
every
you.
Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Good.
Daily kama gazeti.
Many people have been asking about you, so we had to have you to just explain a number of things here and here. First of all, does size matter?
Size matters in all aspects. But since we are talking about TVs, we have to say that, yeah, there are a lot of factors to consider, but at the end, yeah, size does matter. Because we don't know, like I usually tell people, like all living rooms are different. Like your living space is different from my living space. Even if we live in like the same house design, I'm sure the spaces are different. So size, it's good to check on the size that you want, but we're not pushing sizes to people.
That's not the agenda.
Yes, that's not the agenda. And I think you had shown people how to calculate their sizes.
A bit,
the
not as well as you will tell us, but just a bit, yes.
Yeah, but okay, that's enough. That's enough for us to understand, because it's basically more or less the same concept.
More or less the same concept.
Yes.
What about the environment? Does that matter? In terms of the acoustics, you're saying that this television is an artificial intelligent television. Does that matter?
Yes, so basically what I usually like about a TV is, most of our living spaces or TV rooms are usually the focal points. It's usually the focal point of any living space, be it a bedroom, be it a living room, be it a cinema room. It is the focal point. So there are a lot of factors to consider on the environment as to where you're placing the TV. So first, like you mentioned, like one of the basics I usually tell people, and you will find it happens to most people, is first identify where the socket is. Yes, because you might find it sounds obvious, but most people are like, if this is my space, I will be putting the TV here. But the day, let's say you move in or you go and then you find there is no socket here. So that should be the first thing to identify where the socket is. And then in terms of watching, like you had mentioned to guys, like at eye level. So basically at eye level, where you're most comfortable at, and it should be about between 2 meters and 4 meters from the floor.
William.
Yes.
The guys who put TVs on top of fireplaces. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Please never ever put your television set on top of your fireplace. Come on.
Witness that a lot, and I know, and when most people, when they mount TVs, they like mount them higher up the wall, and I don't know, I don't want to say where most people find those TVs placed where they frequent, but
oh, it's out of where they frequent.
Yeah, it's out of where they frequent, so they're used to TVs being up there. But if it's your space, just make it about 2-3 meters comfortable, so that you don't also strain your neck and you don't strain your eyes. The other thing also to consider is the light, the source of light in your space. So is it natural light, like windows, how windows you are, like in this space of ours, were you able to show the guys the space looks awesome? The light in this.
It's magnificent. Guys, this is Nigerian Villas at Karen Olelua Ridge. Magnificent. You should come check out these villas. It's really good.
Yes, so the lighting you should be able to consider, because most of the time TVs, they suffer from reflection or glare. And, but let me give you this, like, it's a very nice, fun point.
Okay.
See, the LG OLED,
Yeah.
which doesn't have a backlight,
Yes.
it's not that much affected by reflecting light because it doesn't have a backlight at the end, so you get to experience the true colors, as you can see there.
Yes.
Those berries look yummy. So,
They do. They actually do.
yeah, they do. So that's another factor, light, because light will affect your viewing experience, and you'll also
Get the reflection.
yes, get the reflection and stuff. So one way to counteract that would be to check where the light sources are. But if you can't do that, let me give you also another interesting fact about like the LG OLED and the NanoCell. They have AI, like we had covered last week. So AI helps in identifying the environment to give you best picture quality. So the TV is able to sense the amount of light in the room, and then that way it can adjust the picture quality to, the content you're watching.
Beautiful. I love this television set.
That's the second factor which I would consider, especially in a room. The other one is on the sound aesthetics, or what we call acoustic. Yes, so you find like in kind of acoustic tuning, because you see the floor to ceiling ratio, there are other houses, like, you don't know if there are tall people living there, but it's quite expansive. It shows that, and you need your TV to give you good sound quality. And so once you get the TV, one thing is, in terms of the output, how is the output of these TVs?
Yes.
Like once we see the 77-inch OLED, so the 77-inch OLED actually has 40 watts. Has 40 watts of output, so it is a very it gives much more immersive sound. Like this one has 20 watts of output, and then you find other TVs, they have lower outage. So what you'll find is you'll be increasing your volume most of the time, but having good sound output is good. But also, what else does the TV offer to try and give you best acoustic? Again, AI comes there.
Artificial intelligence.
Exactly, for the TVs. So we'll show you how you can do acoustic tuning in your living room space, or whichever space you are in, and the TV will be able to give you best acoustics in your space. So you see, picture is catered for, sound is catered for. So in terms of spaces, I would say those are the most important factors to consider on the spaces you have.
Now, have you segmented this television to different market segments, with different buyer preferences put in mind, from the university students to the guy who's older? Yes.
Yes, we have such that, you see, the different clienteles. That's why during this campaign, we want also to highlight to other end users that LG is not only giving these TVs to this particular clientele. So we do offer like all clienteles. So even if it's someone coming out from uni, they just like, mi nataka TV kubwa ya kucheza PS, you'll get consultation. Will be told you, we have a 55-inch that's fit for you, that comes with this and this specs. This is the cost, and this is like the payment terms. And another thing, during this activation, we're giving a very nice discount. So I don't think it would. Anyone who's serious to get a TV, during this time you will get a TV.
It's the best time to get.
I'm quite sure you will.
What discounts are you giving?
We want you to visit the booth.
Where?
So visit the booth where we are. So the booth, like last weekend, we just started off and it was amazing. We had a very nice turnout. It was at Sarit Center. So we are still there during the course of this week up to the end of this month. So the whole of October, these 2 weeks, we are still at Sarit Center, and then we'll be going to Junction, and then we'll finally go to the home of champions. We will be finishing in Eldoret. Yes.
Eldoret. Huh?
Yes.
Where
we'll
winners are born.
Exactly. And where money is.
Absolutely. Now, guys, here's the thing. You need to honestly, this is not because this has been sponsored by LG, but by far this is the best television I have seen world over, hands down. If you think that's a lie, or you think you're not going to take my word for it, why don't you go to the Sarit Center or the Junction Mall to have a look at this magnificent television, and you'll get William and the team to just guide you to get the perfect television for your space. I've been your host, and this has been most delightful, Peter Ngigi. Till next time, goodbye and ciao.